be it soft skills, we usually get to hear the some soft skills a lot. And the things which come to our mind are, for example, let's say, how do we present ourselves? How are our English speaking skills? How do we speak publicly? Before we dive into the details of it, I am just curious, like, what does this soft skills term actually cover? Like, what is it about?
Yes, thank you for the question, Prince. So let me put it this way. Hard skills is something that we learn in college. Okay, for example, engineering students, for example, they learn all the technical skills, whatever is taught in college or whatever is taught in school, that is something that we learn. So those technical skills are considered as hard skills. However, when you come to soft skills is how you practice certain things, certain qualities related to your personality, certain how you carry yourself, how you present yourself, how your appearance is, how your body language is, how your expressions are. There's a lot of emotions involved in soft skills, and this is something that is very important when you jump into the corporate world because this can actually add to your growth at work. So this is what soft skills is, and this is something that has recently, taken a leap because a lot of companies and organizations have understood that this is something that is not taught in schools and this is required in the corporate environment. So that's the reason why they hire us, to come and train their employees. Even in colleges, students are usually trained on soft skills because they have to appear for their campus interviews. And this is the time when your soft skills also matter. So it's very simple. Like, for example, say you are an interviewer and you have two students who just passed out from their engineering college, and you have one student who scored 95% and is great at hard skills and whatever's taught in college. But you have another student who say scored 90%. Obviously, the score is less. However, that student has excellent communication skills. Okay, he's dressed well, he's speaking well, he's well polished when it comes to soft skills. So here you have someone who has a little less of hard skills but has a combination of soft skills and hard skills. Who would you choose? Is a question that I put across to you, Prince. Tell me.
I would rather choose the person who has a combination of both, because probably a client-facing role would be there. We might be asking the candidate
Absolutely.
to speak with the clients.
There, you get your answer. So this is the reason why they would choose somebody with less of hard skills, but a combination of both, because this person will require an extra training later on soft skills where they're going to spend a lot of money. So that's how it is, a balance of both is important.
Soft skills in virtual environment. Like today, we are
Oh my
connected
God.
all across, let's say, online platforms. We have to attend Zoom meetings, Skype, Teams, and so on. But the question is, what are the soft skills that need to be taken care of while we are connected online? Because we do not really get a chance to show off the complete body language. Like a part of us is just
Right.
covered by the camera. So, what are some tips related to
Yes.
soft skills in the virtual environment?
I just finished, like, a lot of training I do is virtual, and these are certain do's and don'ts that I discuss when I start a virtual training. And the most important do is kindly keep your cameras on. Because as a trainer, as a facilitator, it is very important for me to look at you when I am doing a virtual training, especially the kind of subjects and the kind of topics that I use. It is important for me to look at how people are, groomed, or how people are talking, or are they even looking at me, or are they even paying attention to what I'm saying? These are certain challenges that we face in virtual trainings. And just recently, just I think 5 days project I had with a very well-known bank. And to be honest, 95% of the people had their cameras off. And this is something that I told the client that, this is like a major challenge for us because I'm talking about a topic where it is very important for me to look at my audience. And if I'm not able to look at the audience, definitely as a trainer, I can't force them, right? And there are a lot of things that they may be doing, I am throwing questions. I am asking about things. They are answering. It's not that they're completely off. They are paying attention, but they're not showing their faces. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're sitting on the phone, or, I have also attended virtual trainings, and there are times when I don't want to switch on the camera and I get distracted. There are a lot of distractions, especially your phone. So this is something that we face when virtual training comes, and this is something that should be avoided, and there are also certain rules and regulations where I tell them that, you should use the reactions, you should raise your hand and ask questions. And these are certain things that
Okay, so
kind
these
of,
are
become a
new age
challenge.
soft skills that we need to be taken care of. Uh,
Yes.
okay, the term called etiquette training. Like, what does this
Okay.
encompass? Etiquette's like a wider term. Usually, what I think of when I hear the term of etiquette is sort of like you should be having a napkin when you're having your dinner, or let's say you should be
Yes.
using your
Yes.
fork while
Yes.
having your food. So, like, please
Yes.
elaborate a bit more on this. Like, what is etiquette training and what does it cover?
So etiquette, when you go to a dictionary, if you open a dictionary, etiquette actually is another word for manners or practices. This is like a term that they use for practices. Like you said, using proper etiquette while eating. That is dining etiquette. Okay. Then there's something called as elevator etiquette. What you're supposed to do when you enter an elevator. You don't just stand, you kind of smile or greet the people who are around you. Email etiquette, when you're sending emails. These days, it's become very like a trend to teach email etiquette. Because, when you come from one generation to another, people kind of, there are certain words and terms which have become normal, which for the older generation was supposed to be very unprofessional. So this is something that we kind of, standardize when it comes to generations. So that is email etiquette. We teach them how to send emails and what is acceptable and what is not. Again, that depends on what profession you are in and what kind of organization you're from. Then there is uh, dining etiquette. We already spoke about dining etiquette. Then there are so many types of etiquettes, where you learn the things you're supposed to do. So etiquette is practices, and now it has become very important because of certain practices that have evolved and changed over a period of time. So that is about etiquette, Prince. And I
Okay.
think it's important to understand what practices should be followed to come across as professional and not come across as, someone who's laid back or casual. So that is these practices that come under etiquette.
There is another term which is though not very famous, but is a bit intriguing, and the term is called power skills.
Yeah.
Power skills would include skills like, as far as I know, emotional intelligence, adaptability, and stuff like this. So, could you please
Yeah.
elaborate a bit more on these types of skills, like how important they are in a person's success?
So, Prince, power skill these days has become a little more important when it comes to climbing up the ladder.
Mhm,
You know, um, for example, getting promoted, for instance. Like, if I have like a team of, say, 50 people, and if I see somebody who has these specific required power skills, like you said, emotional intelligence, negotiation skills, problem solving, analytical skills, so these are certain skills that are very, very helpful. And if somebody already has them, I would prefer, putting them in a position where I think that they will be used, these skills. So power skills are kind of soft skills only. These are all the skills that we mentioned are soft skills, but it falls between soft skills and hard skills if you go to see.
mhm,
Like these skills need a certain level of training. You cannot just be able to negotiate if you don't know how to negotiate. You need to know these styles of negotiating, and if you have to use authority or if you have to use empathy when you're negotiating. So there are certain technicalities in these soft skills as well, which needs to be learned. So if somebody already has them, these are the people I think easily grow in their
mhm,
career.
mhm,
So that's why they are called power skills, because they have that power to put you ahead or make you stand out as compared to other team members.
mhm.
So that is power skills.
Okay, and power skills help a person, let's say, develop skills apart from presentation or etiquette or let's say the way of networking. But uh,
Hmm.
they have more to do with the human behavior, we can say, right? The ways in which we,
Behaviors.
yeah. So sort of, uh, I was just curious, is it really possible to change how a person is? Let's say, if I do not know how to negotiate, is it a skill that I can build by practicing? Or I do not know how to, let's say, lead people. Is it a skill that I can develop via training? Like, is it really possible?
Yes. It is possible. You have to be a keen learner, number one,
Mhm,
and you must practice these things. A simple thing like sales. So I if I start practicing what I'm teaching, I will become good at it.
mhm,
It's just like that. These power skills are something that can be developed, can be learned by practicing.
mhm.
So that is what it is. Power
So
skills can be learned.
often what happens is I have heard this statement: you cannot put something into someone which the nature has not put, because of which people, they do not take the next
Are
step
reluctant.
thinking, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are learnable skills, and we need not restrict ourselves thinking that, by default we
Yes.
are not programmed to do this and we cannot do it.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes. You can learn them if you want to.
okay. Uh, Now comes another question, and it is about the current trend, which is seen in every career domain, and it is the advent of AI. Like AI is into
Yes.
everything. Uh, how do you, as a soft skills trainer, see the impact of AI on the skills we would be required to have in the future to excel in our careers?
So, Prince, if you talk about my background of
Mhm,
hospitality and aviation, I don't think there's any need of being scared of AI because
mhm,
AI has not reached that level where I can take up a person's queries and give them tailor-made
mhm,
solutions.
mhm,
Like it's like humanity sort of a thing. Human touch or emotions is something that AI has not reached that level. Where they can give tailor-made solutions with emotions.
mhm,
Customer service, customer care is that sort of a program or that sort of field where I don't think there's any fear of AI. Whereas when it comes to training,
mhm,
okay, training is something that can be done by a machine. Okay. But when it comes to soft skills, there are many soft skills that cannot be taken care of by AI, where there is a lot of human emotions and a lot of human warmth is required. These are certain soft skills, for example, customer care, or for example, emotional intelligence. This is something that I don't think AI has reached that level where they can teach you these skills. Even sales, for that matter. You know, maybe in the future they can create like a technique where AI will be able to teach you certain sales skills, but experiences that we have in our life is
Mm.
something that I share with people. Now, AI may not be able to share those things. This is human factors, that we experience in life. And this is something that I share and teach. And from these practices is what people are learning lessons. So I don't know if AI will ever be able to do that, but I don't see any fear of AI when it comes to soft skills. Of course, hard skills, AI can teach. And yeah, that is something that we need to be wary of.
Mm.
But yeah, soft skills, I don't think there's any.
So it seems the importance of rather these soft skills would all the more be increasing in the future. Reason being the hard core skills could be taken care of by AI, but
Yes, yes,
leadership qualities, emotional intelligence,
absolutely.
ethical questions are to be taken care of by humans
Yes,
in the future.
yes, yes, yes.
How can the youth of India, how can we as young people focus on soft skills? Should it be a part of the curriculum which is being taught? Because in CA, we used to have this training, like GMCS training, orientation program, and which used to have some soft skills related topics. And I was wondering, like, if we can learn soft skills in this much short period of time, should it be a part of the overall curriculum of professional courses, of degree courses, or should it be like an outsourced program in which colleges hire experts and then they bring in trainers for, let's say, a week, a month, or so on? How much duration should be there for soft skills training?
Not because I'm a soft skills trainer, but in general, this is something that I've noticed in our country and countries outside, I mean, other countries. These are certain skills that are taught in school. Soft skills are a part of their culture. Okay. Whereas in our country, it is not so much. Like, especially when I was in school, there was nothing known as soft skills. Until some years ago, in fact, I have like my doctor, he asked me, well, what do you mean by soft skills? He's a doctor, okay? He does not know what soft skills means. So what I'm trying to say is soft skills is something that should be part of the curriculum. I'm not saying that it should be like a major part, but I think 10% of soft skills should be practiced, in school and can be a part of the curriculum. 10% can be taken as soft skills place, because these are life skills. It's not just soft skills. It's life skills. You're using it in your entire life, not just at work. You're using it at home. If I'm talking to my family members or my friends, I'm using these soft skills.
Like as you said, in other countries as compared to India,
Hmm.
soft skills are a part of their education. Like, could you please
Yes.
elaborate a bit more on, like, do they have it as a specific subject, or do their system automatically inculcates these skills?
Yes. It's not just system, it's their culture, you know, using kind words like thank you, please, which has now started becoming a part of our culture. That is something that they start doing as children, as toddlers, in their schools, at home, in their environment. These are certain things that they practice, especially communication, very important part of soft skills. These are the things that they learn while they are growing. And this is a time, these are the formation years of a child. When they start learning these things as a toddler, this is something that becomes a part of their personality. So I think if these things are practiced when you are in your formative years, it is a very important thing that should be part of a child's development, and then it automatically becomes a part of you. Like I said, when I got into aviation from college, I'm like, oh my God, like for the first 2 years, Prince, I could not smile. you know in service industry, smiling is the most important part. I did not understand, like, how do you smile when there's no reason to smile, until I reached a point where I understood why smiling is so important.
Mm,
Smiling solves 75% of my major problems in a service industry. It just does not do that in service industry in general. If somebody is angry with me and I'm smiling and being polite and nice, that person's anger cuts down by 75-80%.
mm,
So I understood this whole purpose of being nice and smiling and using certain body language that does help you in your general life.
mm.
So yes, it should be part of your life. I think.
If someone who does not know anything about soft skills, they are not sure whether the way they are presenting themselves in front of others is a good way or not, they feel shy when they speak with strangers, they have not been out a lot. How long would it take for a person to master soft skills so that they can present themselves better, they can be confident in front of others, they can face interviewers, and should they be hiring a trainer, or they could do some online research and the work would get done? What would your advice be in this?
So, Prince, I think it depends on the person, on the
Mm,
learner. Okay. If I'm so enthusiastic about learning something, I will stay up all night and learn this. Okay.
mm,
But if I'm not interested, or if I'm like, very okay or laid back about it, then I may just, take it slow and take my own time. So time is something that is subjective.
Mhm.
It depends on how much I want it.
Mhm.
For example, if I want a degree very badly, for example, my soft skills certification, I took 8 months and finished it, whereas there are people who've taken 3 years and still not finished it.
Mhm.
It depends on how much you want it. So it depends on the person, how much the person wants it. The more they want it and the more they practice it, is the faster that's how fast they learn.